botched it or said it perfectly, TJ?
Botched it. What were the bans?
Oh goodness, I didn't write them down. It was
I told
Braum,
you to pay attention to them.
I was paying attention, I just didn't write them down. Anyway, it was Braum, it was Katarina, it was Corki, it was another mid, it was, who was the other mid? It was Ziggs, and then we had Akali, and then our last one was Draven. There you go.
Yeah,
I remember.
Wow. Okay. Here are the picks. Alistair, Fiora, Olaf for, oh dear, Team Goons, who are on the left side of the screen. Let me fix that. Team Gut Corki over on the right
you really
side
have
of your
TGC
screen.
versus TGN?
Yeah.
This is like so confusing. Corki versus Goons.
it.
We're just gonna call them. As
Team
long
Gut
as we continuously ban Corki.
Corki pick up a Janna, Ari, Lee Sin, and Kai'Sa. So returning to that Janna well for beginnings. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, the Janna worked really well in the second game of last series, but it's kind of let them down in the past. So I'm curious how it's going to work out this time.
We will get a Galio. I'm psyched, presumably in the mid lane here. I think Galio's one of the most powerful characters nobody's playing anymore. He got nerfed, but he's still sick, guys. Xayah in the bottom lane with an Alistair. This is like a draft design for me with a Fiora and Olaf in the top 2 slots.
Yeah, this is just kind of funny. So it turns out when you ban 4 mid laners, you end up with apparently Ari and Galio, who
and Galio wins
are
that.
very strong.
This is because Galio has the magic damage shield. Ari's not going to be able to poke them down during the early game. They're just going to lose that early game matchup.
Yeah, Ari can be very devastating in team fights, though, especially if you can get a pick off of her charm. So, we'll see how that turns out. She's also obviously very mobile, so it's kind of hard to track her down. So we'll see if Sly is able to improve on his myth, on his legend, and carry this game off the Ari.
This is, of course, a best of 3 series, our final one of the evening. We're doing a bonus game today. We weren't sure we would have the energy to, but I've been eating as we've cast. It's all been working out.
This is turned into a mukbang stream, apparently.
I know what that is.
This is like mukbang is like a 5-year-old concept. What do you mean you know what that is?
I mean, sometimes you say things and I don't know what they are, but when you said that, I knew what it was, Daniel.
Krampus? Yeah. Between the two of us, we rarely intersect as far as our knowledge is concerned. I feel like we're always explaining something to each other.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what this is? Haven't the slightest.
Daniel and I have literally the opposite lived experience. It's kind of profound.
But it's beautiful in its own way.
Yeah.
Anyway, hi Hoon. Hoon just goes back in.
You don't mess with early game Galio. Well, maybe you do if you have your friend. He's still got the resonating strike. Krampus will not follow up, though. Here comes Yikes. Sly should be able to dash away from this, though. This is actually a bit of a mistake from Yikes. Oh, he misses the undertow throw as well. Yeah, a little bit of a tragedy.
I know that feeling. When you spam the X, it doesn't go far enough when they're running away. You have to be really careful with the X. You actually have to aim it just like basically beyond where they're running, or else if they're just running away from you and you tap the button, it will not reach them. I've learned that the hard way.
Especially if they slide into a bush and sometimes the targeting goes wide. It's frustrating.
When they go into a bush, you completely aim it at some other random thing. And you're like, that's not exact. That's not where I was aiming at all. That's a 90-degree angle from where I was aiming.
I think that's exactly what was happening. I think the axe threw in the direction he was moving because he tapped it after Sly had gone into a bush.
Oh, I see.
Which is, I believe, how that works by default. Krampus with an early jungle invade. Worth noting. Getting a little bit frisky with these birds.
Yeah. Okay, he'll be able to take it in the end. Not too big of a deal. People just kind of trying to throw their weight around and be in the opposing jungle, just trying to be annoying, but no real advantages gained on the other side because of it.
Maybe. Gume very low. Will be able to reset his HP a bit, but Rest is on 1 HP, so here comes the rest of the team.
One thing we didn't talk about as far as this matchup is concerned is Beginnings and Rest were basically the two best supports in the history of NA AOV.
In Arena of Valor, yes.
Basically, yeah.
They represented Tribe Gaming and Allegiance, the two best teams in North America. And their rivalry was pretty sick to watch.
Wasn't it BMG?
It was Immortals, then... yeah, it was Immortals. That's what I was thinking. I'm not Tribe.
Right. But anyway, yeah. So the team that Rest was on was the best team for a long time, and then they were supplanted by the new best team, which Beginnings was on.
Then Immortals, eventually BMG. All got messy.
Anyway, they're in a blood feud now in this game, so we're back to where we started.
Man, I wonder when
who
Sleepy
can protect their buddies the best.
I want Sleepy, Allegiance's old mid laner, to get a team. I know he's been playing Wild Rift.
Yeah, he and I both love the Orianna. we are both Orianna fans.
Good to see. Beginnings and Soju are pushing in this bot lane turret as we do prepare for our first Drake of the game. Catch this animation. Infernal Drake arrives on the rift.
And a little
bit of poke. Rest in to start
anyway, I was about to say,
off, but that should be all.
Yeah, this is quite an important Drake because the extra damage will loom large in the early game, so both teams really want to have this one.
Oh, Galio, heroic entrance over the top. Doesn't find anything. LeBlanc with the riposte. Keeps himself alive. Beginning spot suit. Doesn't catch anyone, but he shoves him forward. And there is the aggression. Low HP now on Team Gut Corki, but they're still pressing ever further forward. The Goons managed to keep everybody alive. They've only lost their support, but everyone's on 1 HP. Beginning steps too far forward. Oh, Tornado keeps him alive. Gume with the kite, now all alone. Caught by the charm, will go down. Team Gut Corki win the fight.
That was one of the highest mechanical fights I think we've seen in Wild Rift yet.
What a team
we
fight!
Might not be done. Yikes. When everyone is that low, then we've had some great shuffling and juggling of players in and out of the team fights, and God, they were completely just using every single thing in their arsenal to make that happen for both sides. I can't even go on specifics right now because there was so much going on that entire time. The one thing I did see was an amazing tornado coming out of Meg that knocked up 3 in the midst of all that action, and that completely changed it. Otherwise, they were going to be in a lot of trouble on the side of TGC.
Wow. That flipped back and forth so many times, it ends roughly even. Obviously a kill advantage to Team Gut Corki, but the gold leans towards the Goons as they now look for more. What a clean assassination.
It's like, now you see him, and now you don't. Goodbye, Soju. And that is a huge deal because, it takes a while for Kaisa to get going. Her damage isn't really that big of a deal in the beginning of the game, but it ramps up like crazy, especially because you want to proc her passive on her first ability. I think it's her passive, right? Or I don't know what it's called, but basically your abilities upgrade, and you want your first ability and your third ability to upgrade, so you shoot 12 shots instead of 6.
Yes.
Yeah, evolve. There you go. So until she gets that, she's gonna be in a lot of trouble. So she needs those items in her bag, and taking her out like that's a huge deal.
Sly into the front lines, held back. Hoon goes in, double taunt will land. Beginnings his monsoon slows down the fight. Heroic entrance doesn't find anyone who installs things up. Now, the pressure from Team Gut Corki as they go on the offensive. Rest, no HP, will go down for the second time in 2 fights. Krampus on 1 health will escape. Gume in the sidelines is just taking down another turret. As 2 kills go over to Team Gut Corki. They also got the Drake earlier. This will now give them a slight gold advantage once they take this turret. If they take this turret. Charm out. LeBlanc in trouble. Will riposte the tornado, but go down nonetheless.
Wait, I was gonna say, why are we still seeing Vile Points when she's already dead? It's like, I still see where you're weak. I'll catch you eventually. In any case, TGC is doing an extremely good job of taking these team fights. I'm actually very surprised they're able to do this. Zella obviously had a really good flank at the end of the fight there to be able to secure that, but Gume has been split pushing this entire time. So once he joins the team fight, this could flip into their favor. And if you take a look at the farm here, Gume on the Zaya does have 5.5k gold to the 5,000 of Kai'Sa. So winning in that regard at the moment. And we'll see who has the more impact in these team fights going forward.
Soju staying ahead of Yikes as Yikes calls in that Rift Herald they got. This investment needs to pay off for the Goons. And it's not going to.
It's not going to.
Yeah. They lost the Drake for this. They lost 3 players for that.
One underrated thing about Janna is you can actually shield turrets. And that makes it makes a bigger deal than you would think, especially in situations like this where every single plate matters in the gold.
Krampus mistiming Hoon's taunt. Gotta love that. Just walks right into it.
Alright, well I guess we're just resetting for this Drake then.
Yep. Here he comes. Or she. I don't want to force him into the bar.
They, TJ. You're
right.
You're so insensitive.
Beginnings will be in trouble. Good riposte. That slows things down.
Yeah, it looks like Goons has a better position right now, kind of forcing TGC out. It's very hard for TGC to engage from this position, especially when Bag is outside like that.
Pulled out, Beginnings burst down, will die despite the Monsoon, and that provides HP reset because of the Grand Challenge. Heroic Entrance won't find anything, though. And so, their team fight is over unless Krampus has something to say about it.
I have a question. Is Ledmon MTS?
I don't believe so. I've seen MTS's account, and it does say MTS. Could be an alt, but maybe MTS has been playing on an account labeled MTS in other tournaments.
All right, well, Ledmon's been doing reasonably well, so it's
low HP on this Drake. In for the steal, denied. Successfully picked up for Team Gut Corki. Yikes is caught out. And they get another Drake. And for the first time, a small but growing gold lead. Who now in trouble? Caught out by Zella. Will be forced underneath this turret. Here comes Rest and Gume. They can't save him. Rest with the redemption. Will go in trying to stop Krampus, but can't pin him underneath this turret. They need to leave now. And they barely do in time.
Triple back there, and they're gonna get this mid turret, it looks like, as well. So finally TGC are snowballing this game. They seem to be in control. Oh, there you go. Little mage minion, he's got it covered. Yeah, so TGC, they look to be in control just the way these fights were going and how things were playing out, but finally they're able to solidify it and consolidate into a lead right now.
He takes these. Sly is stepped too far forward. Needs to call his friends. LeBlanc in, trying to convert that Grand Challenge, but can't do so. Zello in the meantime onto Yikes as LeBlanc falls. Rest tries to save the day and cannot. Now in the front line with Ziggs popped, is doing a decent amount of damage, decent amount of stall. Hoon tries to save him with the taunt. Will go to the front lines. Over the top is Shoju though. Hoon has to flash away. Gube out of the Feather Storm. Will shred Zello, but can't live through Shoju's pressure. And Team Gut Corki get their 12th kill, and yes, finally have a substantial gold lead as they turn towards the Baron.
Yeah, it's only taken an 8-kill lead and 2 Drakes and multiple turrets, but they finally have what you can consider a reasonable, significant gold lead, TJ. We finally made it to this point. It just goes to show how resilient Team Goons is, but finally the dam is starting to break. The cracks in the pressure have provided cracks in their wall. I don't know what the analogy here is, but they're falling apart.
I don't know where
TJ.
You're going with this.
I'm not really good with metaphors.
Nope, I can tell that, Daniel. Pressure in. Fight starts as Krampus starts the attack. Nothing will come of it. LeBlanc in the sidelines, meanwhile, is not going to get their 1v1. Oh, heroic entrance. That forces everyone away. Now Beginnings is fairly low. We'll
Oh.
spend the Monsoon just to stay alive. Rest dives into the backline. Zello isolated. Gume throwing out damage. Here comes Shoju. Zello
way.
finds a 1-for-1 trade. Nothing more. And they can't convert further. But a deep dive.
jumping
Killer Instinct. Krampus with the recast. They force Gume back too far. Featherstorm Blade Cooler combo. Drops everyone low. Gume cleans up too. Krampus on the dive. Finds revenge. And they can do no wrong. Team Gut Corki, with a frankly heroic effort on the dive, will take another turret.
And meanwhile, Sly just AFK in the bottom lane, killing the inhibitor turret there. It's just like, you guys can fight. I'm gonna be here if you need me. Oh, nice charm.
Parry too late. LeBlanc will try and go back in. If they can get the grand
that's-
challenge, that's winnable. But I believe the cannon minions took about that.
Yeah, I can't believe Lebmon almost turned that around. Off of the charm, just put down to basically 10% health and nearly. That was actually very impressive, even in death for Lebmon. So something to consider going forward here. But yeah, what a team fight we just saw. I don't even know if it was a team fight. It was just like 8 skirmishes back to back to back.
Hell of a ride is what it was.
Well, the result is 2 inhibitors down. That is a massive deal to add injury to injury in this case.
Team Gut Corki.
Those are,
you know, they didn't stay on the winners bracket previously. The Goons were pretty dominant. Oh dear, Gume. Shield will go down.
Goodbye.
What a dive from Krampus. Rest charmed as well, just detonated. Here's the rogue entrance over the top to try and aid at LeBlanc, but they're kept away from their base. The safety of their base is denied by Beginnings, who drops a sick Monsoon, and that will be game.
Yikes. He just beat back. I don't know if he can hold this.
Yikes
5 members versus 1. Death timer's at 14 seconds.
Here comes the super minions.
Super minions.
No, this is over. Yikes with the backline dive, kept it arm's reach, knocked into GA, and Team Gut Corki take down the Goons.
Very surprising result here. Goons was supposed to be, the chosen one to take down Tribe Gaming, but Team Gut Corki say not so fast.